Hey, Basil Mo with Grayson Hobby, and today we're going to do a tutorial on how to bind the Qx90C to your Spectrum transmitter.
It's really 1%. Gosh, got a lot of power.
Now this video is going to be not as fun as our last couple of videos. They're going to be more of a technical, boring, no flying, not many jokes.
Pretty much to the point, guys, to kind of give some of the, I guess, the black magic of binding a Spectrum radio, apparently.
Wizard of Quad here is going to just tell me how to bind my Qx90. I'm gonna ask all the questions that hopefully you have. We're gonna show you what happens if you hit the reset button. We're gonna go over how to bind, how to do your endpoints. What you need is a
computer running CleanFlight, Qx90C or similar, and your Spectrum radio.
And we're using a PC. They have a Mac version. I'm sure it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't like to remember things, a piece of paper and a pencil.
Or the notepad on your computer.
All right, so here it is, tutorial.
Back for the rubber band. O-ring, rubber band, O-ring.
For the Qx90.
And then you'll put the O-ring around it to secure it.
Otherwise known as a rubber band.
We do not have a battery connected to this quad. This is purely USB. The battery is not connected. That's so no accident happen. If you're using a brushless quad, take the props off. Since I'm not using a battery and it's a micro quad, I don't worry about the props on this particular model. If I was using a 250 quad, the props would not be on it right now.
Well, we're gonna do the Qx90C. Actually, my son's Qx90C and my Dx9. So I have no idea because I'm too lazy to read the manual.
Well, actually the manual is missing a couple things in this one, guys.
So we're gonna write down the steps right here. Actually, you're gonna write the steps down.
I'm not writing it down. I'm gonna do it.
All right,
you can write it down.
What's the first step?
First step is binding the quad.
All right, bind the quad. So let's do it.
Now the manual does actually cover how to bind. This particular, the Qx90C has an auto bind receiver, similar like Spectrum Micros and all that. So you don't have to worry about command line binding. So we're gonna skip that part, but we're gonna go to the binding. So let's get the quad bound to a radio, and then I'll show you the endpoint adjustments and all that you need to do, because a lot of people have issues getting the Spectrums to work. They're not arming, they're not flying, or they're just flipping over. It's because the setup is different for Spectrum than Tyrannus and FlySky. It's a little bit different. So this video is going to knock that out so we can get everybody flying on DSM2 or DSM8.
And these aren't like airplanes. You can't bind it and go, woo, I'm flying. You have a lot more to go on.
The days of just hooking servo leads in and then going to fly, they're gone.
Yeah.
Unless you get a little toy quad, you're going to have to hook to the computer.
Right. Got my radio.
First things first, this is a radio. If you have anything from the Spectrum Dx6E, the 6, the 8, which I'm out of, and the 9s, they're all going to share similar software. So first things first, we're going to get in here. We're going to create a new model because I don't know what you have on. All right, so we got a new model there. So we're going to create it.
Hold on, that clear. There we go. That's good.
And then model select. Oh, go back. Sorry. Aircraft type. Oh, no, wait, you don't have that. Model type, sorry. This one has older software in it, so it doesn't have the quadcopter software, so we're going to just leave it as a default airplane. You do not want to use helicopter or sailplane. Either airplane, or if your Spectrum radio has the software for multi-rotor, then select that, but let's go with this.
Is this going to prevent me from doing it right?
No, not at all. It's just preset stuff in the background.
Okay.
So
well, actually, this is good that we can tell you how.
So,
all right.
We got a default aircraft model. We got that there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm not even going to use the battery for a while on this thing, so next thing to do is you need to have CleanFlight installed, so we're going to have CleanFlight up.
We're going to show you CleanFlight.
So you're going to connect it here.
All right, so where did I just plug it in?
Again, I do not have battery connected. I just plugged in the USB port.
All right.
Now we got a fast flashing blue light here. So once we get the blue light, and this is a weird thing here. If I try to bind it right now, so I'm going to go into bind mode. If I try to bind it point blank, it's probably not going to bind.
Bind failed.
So you'll see it failed. For some reason you have to be several feet away, so let's try that again. I'm going to stand 5 feet away here.
Now, what am I looking for? The light?
Yeah, the light's flashing.
All right.
And you also hear it.
Bind failed.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me restart.
So you're gonna.
If you fail the bind, repower it up.
What you better unplug and plug it back in.
Yeah, because I'm just using USB for power. So we're going into bind mode. So we got our binding.
No, you're gonna do you're just gonna bind it like you would any airplane.
Like an ultra micro plane, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Binding. DSM2 22 milliseconds.
you'll see it on the screen.
Resolution.
Yep, there it is.
Bind complete.
Woo! Let's go fly.
So now we got it bound. No flying yet. Nothing's gonna work.
Okay.
All right. Now that you've bound everything, it won't fly yet. We still have to do configuration. This is where the computer comes in.
All right.
So what we need to do is we need to go to the receiver tab on CleanFlight. You'll see it says receiver. Then we need to look at these first 4 channels in particular right here, okay?
So we have roll, pitch, yaw, and throttle. So
now,
just
when I move the sticks, what I want to see is when I give it right roll, the stick should go to the right, the little slider, but it's actually going backwards. So roll needs to be reversed. See, if I go left, it goes right. If I go right, it goes left.
yeah. So all right.
If I go full pitch, it goes up.
So that's correct.
Bottom, that's right. Yaw is backwards as well. And then throttle is correct.
So we have to reverse, if I remember.
So we
roll and yaw.
Correct. So
right.
what we're doing, roll is aileron in airplane mode, or if you have multi-contour mode, it will say roll and yaw. And then rudder. So we reverse those 2 channels, which is channel 2 and channel 4.
So let's check that out.
We got,
Just do one at a time.
all right, we got left roll, right roll, forward pitch, back pitch, right yaw, left yaw,
Basically.
low throttle, full throttle.
All right. So basically, when you push the sticks, you want the arrow to go in that direction, or the graph or bar or whatever they go in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's
All right,
easy enough.
so we got that
Can we
there.
fly?
No, we cannot fly yet.
All right.
All right, so we got that there. The next thing to do is set your sub trims. If you read here, it talks about trim channels to 1500. 1500 has to be the middle. So if we moved all the sticks to the center, which throttle's not as important, but I'm going to neutralize all the sticks right here. So if I move all the sticks to the center, what I want to do is set those to 1500, and then you just go to sub trim on your radio.
Okay.
Now some radios might be a little different, but you need to find sub trim. And we'll start with the throttle channel, which throttle channel, again, you really need the max min, not necessarily the middle. Okay. But we're going to set that anyway.
So we're gonna make throttle 1500, right?
Yeah. And I like to actually look at the sticks, the monitor here. Especially on the newer radios, they have the monitor there. I try to set those all to 0 on the first 4 as close as possible. That way I can set those to 1500 properly. So let me go to throttle.
So now you just, like an airplane, you're just trying to level the surfaces.
Correct. Now we're neutralizing the surface, but it's imaginary surface at this point.
Because every controller is off by the springs or whatever.
Yeah.
The use and wear and tear. And
so all I'm doing is going through and sub-trimming everything to where I get 1500. All right, now the trick in that, if you see a little bit of jitter, if you do see jitter, you can add what they call RC deadband. If you look right here, deadband, if it's jittering 1 or 2 or so, you can add 1 or 2 there. That will cancel out, hopefully, the drift or anything like that you get from noisy sticks.
So I see, let's go to do pitch.
All right.
So pitch is right at, actually the roll, let's start with the roll, top one. So I'm at 1500.
It's moving about 1 or so every so often.
But then the one below it, pitch is going from 1499 to 1501 every once in a while, but it's actually more consistently moving. So what do you want to do?
Realistically, what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to add 2 points of deadband because this is a micro, it doesn't really matter that much. So I'm going to do that, and then you want to click save.
All right.
So that gets it then. You're still going to see them move, but that's just more so for flying. All right, so the next thing we got.
Wait, so can we fly yet?
No, we cannot fly. So
I'm going to ask you every step.
I know you are. So now we need to get, with all the sticks in their lowest positions.
Yep.
That needs to be closer to 1000, and the top right on both sticks, which is their max positions, needs to be 2000.
All right. So
we're nowhere near there.
Right. So you don't need to do both at the same time. You can just go.
No, you can do one at a time and check
right.
it, but I'm just moving everything there so I can see.
Right.
Now, one thing to note, if you look here, you'll see these numbers. See, we're at 1840, 1843, 1843, 1842.
Yeah.
The minimums, we got 1156, 1157, 1157, 1155. Keep that in mind for later.
All right.
But
do I need to write that down or something?
No.
All right.
What you can do, you'll need to go to travel, and you'll need to raise the travel. So we're going to start with the throttle channel first. You'll see it's at 1155. Keep in mind, we do not have a battery connected to this quad. This is purely USB. The battery is not connected. That's so no accident happen. If you're using a brushless quad, take the props off. Since I'm not using a battery and it's a micro quad, I don't worry about the props on this particular model. If I was using a 250 quad, the props would not be on it right now because I'm connected to the computer.
Gotcha.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the throttle travel, and I'm going to raise the travel. And if you watch this, see it's going down?
So you're going, all right, this part's confusing. So
I'm increasing the travel.
You're going up.
Which is giving a wider range.
Down.
Yes, and then I'm going to move the throttle stick up, and then I'm going to increase the travel as well.
Okay, I see how that works.
Now, one thing, I don't know if you can see here, but I'm I'm almost maxed out on my travel, and look at that. I'm only at 1900. This is not going to 2000. So there's a fix for that.
What do you do? So
what we're going to do is...
in your radio?
No, we're going to clear this out, and this is a trick for micros, guys.
All right.
Typically, you would set the endpoints.
Should I just get
on a traditional quad...
Should I get in your radio?
You do not need another radio if you have a Spectrum.
All right.
Traditionally, you would set the endpoints at 1000, 2000. In this particular case, we're unable to get it, and I believe it's because of the PPM receiver integrated in these. So I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to 0 my travel.
So you're deleting everything you just did.
Yes, and I'm going to leave it here. And remember how I was talking about the 1150 and then 18 something?
Yeah.
1155, 1841. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some software changes here.
All right.
Now, what we need to do is go to the dump file here, type in the word dump.
Oh boy.
Then we're going to scroll up, and this is all the background information on the quad. You'll look for something called RX range. If you just copy this right here, copy it, and then open up a notepad and paste.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go back to CleanFlight. Let's go back to the receiver tab. It's going to disconnect and then reconnect. Go to the receiver tab. All right, so now let's look at our numbers again. Our lowest numbers is 1155 is the lowest I see. The highest number I see is 1843.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's go back to that notepad file. I believe I have it here. All right, so the RX range. What we're going to do is I'm going to use the lowest number just to make it easy. You could actually fine tune each individual one. RX range 0 is channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. So what was the numbers we had, Basil?
You told me not to write them down.
Told you not to write them down. All right, let's go back then.
Wait.
11.
Hold on. Huh?
1155.
He's making fun of me for writing them down.
He's too slow. He can't keep up.
11. 50.
1155 is the lowest.
5.
And the maximum is 1843.
Max. All right.
All right. So now we're going to go back to the notepad file.
All right.
And I'm going to change the numbers for the lowest 1155 on all of them. Okay? So 1155.
Oh, look at you, sneaky.
And then I'm going to change 2000 to 1843.
That's what you have right there.
Yep.
All right.
And now I'm going to copy and paste this so I don't have to type it every time. But you could just type it. Make sure you keep the spaces the same, guys. Don't mix anything up there. All right, so now that we got all 4 channels adjusted,
yep,
we're going to copy this. Then we're going to go back to the command line, the CLI. It's at the bottom. You'll have to scroll down to get it.
Yep, all right, I see it.
Go there. Now.
You type in dump?
Nope.
Oh.
Control V to paste.
Okay.
Hit enter, then type the word save. It'll reboot. Now let's connect again. Let's go back to the receiver tab. And watch this. We got 1,000 roughly and almost 2,000.
Wow, magic. Can you fly?
This will allow the quad to fly.
Can we fly?
From here, you can fine tune your endpoints if you choose, but to get you guys going quicker, this will be fine. But if you set the channels, closer 1,000 all around, 2,000 all around, it'll be more precise left to right.
Right, it'd be more.
It's equalizing the throw.
Gotcha.
So, but for now, that will get us going. The only other thing to look at.
Let's back up. How would you get that 1501 or 1502 or?
That was the sub trim.
When you go back to it, go back low. I'm at 102. How do I get those to exactly 1,000?
Okay, if you want to go exactly 1,000, which I actually usually go 1 or 2 points above, especially when the receiver's twitchy like that.
All right. Well then, let's say I want to just get it perfect.
All right. So what you can do is go to your travel.
This is a travel.
We're gonna go roll.
So now
first.
Instead of doing travel like 50, we're only doing travel like 2 or 3.
Yeah. So I got the stick maxed over. Actually, that one's already there.
All right.
1997. So I can go.
Up
I usually just hold the stick and then go up 1 or 2. But this one, you're not going to get perfect. It's jumping over it, so we're just going to stay at 100.
Why is it jumping? Is that because the radio is just...
It's the resolution. We just changed the resolution of the sticks. That's
all right.
All right, so
we're good there.
That's the second to last thing. The very last thing to do, guys, is check your modes. because you're using your own radio, the manual does talk about this a little bit, but very brief. That's one thing they kind of skipped over. Your position in your sticks. Channel 5 in this one, which is aux 1, is channel 5. So if we go back to receiver tab, I believe on your radio, it's switch A. Depending on what radio you have, it could be gear switch, it could be, heck, it could be a flap switch even.
And you can fix that in your radio settings.
You can configure whatever switch you want to whatever channel, but what you need to do is check channel 5, okay?
Do it again.
If I switch
but
channel
moving
5.
auxiliary 1.
That's aux 1 is channel 5.
On my radio.
Yeah, on Spectrum, aux 1 is actually channel 6, but channel 5 is aux 1 in CleanFlight. So we're going back to modes here. This is arm and angle. If you notice, if I flip the switch, you got angle lit up. Now arm would light up if the quad was level. I don't think it's gonna. Try that again.
So you whip the flip. You're okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
min check wasn't there. All right, so basically on a level surface, it's meeting all its criteria. The throttle sticks down. This would actually be armed and flyable right now. Now we're ready to fly.
All right, so that now we're bound up and our radio is configured, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not incredibly hard, but there is weird things in some of these quads. For the most part, most of the quads you actually just set your 1,000, 2,000 endpoints and you're good to go. If you don't, there's something called min check and max check in the receiver tab. Stick minimum and stick max. If you cannot get it below 1100, it wouldn't arm. So if my stick is higher and I try to arm it, it won't arm. That's why you got to keep the throttle down to arm it.
Okay, we want that. You don't touch those.
You can adjust them if you want,
Yeah,
but the factory
no,
default work fine.
Keep them there.
All right, so now we got it plugged in, got it armed, and we got it working. So that's arm, disarm, arm,
Right.
disarm. So that is how you bind your receiver. That is how you set your subtrims, your endpoints. Through CleanFlight, Betaflight does the same thing. Most of these quads come default with CleanFlight though, so that's what you need to do. But that's pretty much kind of unlocking the mysteries of the Spectrum configuration for a lot of these micro quads. If you guys got any questions from there, hopefully we can answer it. Definitely though, if you're into this stuff, start reading online. Get online. Get GitHub. There's the wikis for the CleanFlight, Betaflight. Start reading them, guys. If this is what you want to do, you need to learn this stuff. It's only going to improve the way you can fly them.
Okay, so that covers about half of the tech support questions we get.
That's actually a majority of the micros, yes.
Yes, so the other half is when motors go full throttle and they delete software and...
Yeah, if you plug in your battery and the throttle goes full throttle on you, that means you most likely reset the firmware. These brush quads actually don't use standard CleanFlight. There is configuration files adjusted within it. If you went on the computer and you clicked reset settings right here, you're gonna, no longer will the radio type be saved, any settings be done, it'll blank it. It starts fresh.
You're blanking the software on the PC or the software on the quad?
On the quad. The flight controller gets reset, there's no more settings.
Do I need to send it back in, or
no,
do I need a new quad?
If you purchase from Grayson Hobby, not to worry, we have a backup file for you guys. Specifically for these micros. If you go, just give us your order number on our ticket page and then we'll get you the file for that, and we're going to show you how to upload the file real quick. To restore a lost file, say you reset this, and I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to reset this.
No, it's mine.
So I just reset it. Now we got nothing. Nothing's going to work. Let me show you an example real quick. This may hurt me.
Well, here.
Now, here, I got it. All right, so this is an example. If you plug in the full throttle, that's bad.
That is about 1 in every 3 emails we get on tech support about that exact situation.
Yeah,
and
that's QX70, QX90, E010S, QX100, QX110.
So,
I mean, any of the brushed micros for the most part, that's the problem.
Don't hit the reset button, number one. Number one, don't hit the reset button. And number 2, don't hit the reset button.
Yes.
All right.
Now,
problem solved.
As far as the motors go,
so how do I fix that?
Well, the easiest way to do is recover a restore file. Before you do anything, you really want to back up everything before you start messing with it. But for the sake of making it easy, we're going to put a backup file of the stock configurations on the micros, because the brushed motors, there's a lot of stuff going on with these. We're going to put a backup file. So this is how you're going to restore a backup file once it's deleted.
All right, so to go along with that backup file, I still need to bind and do the whole procedure binding and configure.
You still have to do the
So
procedure and all that.
this is gonna put it back in the mode as I opened it from the box when we shipped it.
Yes, this is going to bring you back to the open the box.
Gotcha.
And this is only for the brushed ones. So we're going to connect here, and then we're going to go to CLI. This is the command prompt down here. So let me open up the file real quick, and we're going to get the stock file. Basically, you copy all the text, and it's actually pretty long.
We'll just charge a small fee of some good feedback.
We'll put it on the ticket page.
Yeah, we'll put it. The fee is good feedback. That's what we want. That will be your fee. So if you don't give us a 5-star review, either Facebook, Google, you don't get the file.
It'll probably be on the tickets. All right, so you got this huge list here. What you're gonna do is, and now I got it highlighted, so I'm just gonna hit Control A to copy everything, and then
Well, do that command again with your.
or Control A selects everything.
Yep.
Control C copies.
System idle.
Turn off the radio. Gonna go into the command prompt, and I'm just gonna paste it, and you're not gonna see anything, but you just hit the enter,
Okay.
and it's gonna take a minute.
Am I the Russians hacking into?
You are
CleanFlight?
hacked. Yes.
All right.
Now we got it restored back to where it's supposed to be, and just to show you, plug in the battery. Motors didn't spin it.
Yeah.
out.
Well, hey, now I'm back to square one.
Yes. Now you have to go back to the front of this video and start over. But that's just one of the little tips there. This video is mainly just for the guys that are getting frustrated trying to figure out how to set the stuff up with their own radio. These are just little pointers here for you. Hopefully this helps you guys. We're gonna make more videos. If you guys like it, comment, send us some likes. If we get enough feedback on it, we'll try to do more.